I was like, fuck, man. So I went to the shop and I bought some stuff, right? Pretty normal things. I wanted to eat and I wanted a drink because that's what people want normally. It was a normal Friday, like any Friday that you'd expect, and I walked up to the front. But the door wouldn't open because it was a public holiday, for God's sakes. And I was like, fuck that, I like fuck that, like fuck that, I don't know what to do. So I went back to my parents' house because I knew they were probably smarter than me. So I went to their fridge and I opened the fridge and they had some milk in there. Great, had a drink. So I took the milk and I went to the cupboard and I had a look what inside. But then I realised that it was just Weet-Bix. And I was like, fuck, like, fuck. So I had a chat with them about the Weet-Bix, and they were saying, why are you at this house? We didn't want you back, we kicked you out for a reason, so just leave, and you're not taking that milk with you. So I left the place with the milk anyway, because I was just an asshole, and I went over to my friend's house. Pretty straightforward stuff.
Okay, fine.
I went inside and I asked them for some help, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, we'll help you out. So I mentioned to them what my current situation was. They told me they had plenty of milk available and they had food that wasn't Weet-Bix. But when they handed me the milk, it was long life milk. Now I was like, fuck. So I told them that long life wasn't gonna be enough for me. But they just looked at me and thought, well, this is all we really live off. So I asked them about the food, and I was like, oh yeah, so we got some bacon and ham. I thought, yeah, right, that will do. We got a bit of bread at home, I suppose. So I asked them who would be good for giving me milk, because I really needed milk. But they just looked at me and stared right into my eyes. So I asked them what was up. Why couldn't they tell me? It was a pretty straightforward question, really. But then they looked to the ground and they frowned because they said, we don't know anyone who can give you milk. And I was like, fuck, there's no milk for me. Fuck. So, this is where we were. We had some bread, we had some bacon, had some ham, but had no milk. Where the hell do I get milk from? Oh, of course, I know where to get milk from. My hand. Because remember, I stole the milk anyway. I was such a fool. So I took it back to my home, as you would expect. I walked left, I walked right, I knew the streets perfectly fine. But then I went to my house, and I realised I wasn't even there anymore. I couldn't open the door because there was no door. I couldn't go through the window because there was no window. But then I realised that I was too poor to afford a house, and I just stood there and I thought to myself, shit. Oh shit. I have no food, drink to keep together. Things were over. Nothing was good. And I just sat there and I shook because I was scared. But then I let it all out in one anger burst of words. You know what I said? You know what I screamed? You know what I yelled across the street? I'll tell you what I was like. I was like, fuck! Like, fuck! Like, fuck! I was angry, man. Like, fuck! Like, fuck! Until I passed out on the floor. And then I didn't wake up because I was tired and I wanted to take a nap.